A man with nothing left to lose takes a risk and helps Elon Musk. What follows is an unexpected twist that no one saw coming. Nathan used to be someone, a man with oil-stained hands, a sharp mind, and a reputation for fixing what others deemed impossible. As a former engineer at a top car manufacturer in Detroit, he spent years refining engines, designing efficient drivetrains, and ensuring every vehicle he touched ran flawlessly. His life revolved around precision, problem-solving, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing his work made a difference. But now, he was just another forgotten soul in a city that didn't care. Sleeping under an overpass near a Tesla Supercharger station in Sacramento, California, Nathan had learned how quickly life could strip everything away. It started with layoffs. His company downsized, cut costs, and suddenly, experience wasn't enough to hold on to a job. At first, he believed he'd recover, that his skills would land him something new. But weeks stretched into months, his savings vanished, and the weight of unpaid bills crushed him. His wife, exhausted by the financial strain, left. Soon after, the bank took the house. Too proud to ask for help, Nathan watched as the last remnants of his old life crumbled when his car finally broke down. Now, his world was reduced to a stretch of sidewalk near the charging station, where he watched Tesla owners sip their overpriced lattes and never spare him a glance. At night, he wrapped himself in an old army surplus blanket, a gift from a kind stranger weeks ago. He wasn't sure what hurt more, the cold or the way people ignored him, looking past him as if he were invisible. One evening, Nathan sat on the curb, eating the last bite of a stale sandwich he had saved from the day before. The station was unusually busy, filled with expensive cars and distracted drivers scrolling through their phones. He listened to them discuss stocks, business deals, and vacations, conversations from a world that no longer included him. Then, a different sound caught his attention, the unmistakable sputtering of a car failing to start. He recognized the noise immediately. A high-end model, likely a Tesla Roadster, was struggling to reboot. A small crowd gathered, murmuring as the frustrated owner paced while speaking on the phone. Nathan exhaled, shaking his head. He knew exactly what was wrong just by listening. But who would listen to him? He pulled his blanket tighter, reminding himself that offering help had never gotten him anywhere before. Then, over the murmurs, he heard the owner curse under his breath. "Damn it! I have somewhere to be. This isn't supposed to happen." There was something familiar about that voice, something distinct. Nathan glanced up. The man's face was partially obscured by the glow of a streetlight, but as he shifted, his profile became unmistakable. It was Elon Musk. Would anyone believe that a homeless man could help the richest person in the world? Nathan's fingers twitched. He knew exactly what was wrong with the car. It wasn't the battery, and it wasn't some random glitch. The startup sequence had stalled mid-cycle, something he had seen before in high-performance electric vehicles with complex firmware. If the system wasn't reset properly, the car would be completely immobilized. But who would trust a guy in a tattered hoodie who hadn't shaved in weeks? Nathan debated whether to just let it go, let the billionaire call a tow truck and wait like everyone else. But then Musk muttered under his breath, "What the hell is taking them so long?" Nathan clenched his jaw. He didn't want charity, didn't want attention. But walking away from a problem he could solve, that wasn't who he was. Before he could talk himself out of it, he pushed himself up and crossed the lot. The onlookers barely noticed as he approached the stalled car. "It's not the battery," Nathan said, his voice steady but firm. Heads turned. A few people glanced at him, their eyes quickly scanning his worn-out sneakers and unkempt beard. Musk, still on the phone, didn't acknowledge him at first. Nathan took a step closer. It's the power management system. The car didn't complete its startup sequence. You need a hard reboot. Finally, Musk looked up, his gaze assessing, calculating. And you know this how? Nathan crossed his arms. I was an engineer. Worked with high-voltage drive systems for over 15 years. A pause. The crowd waited for Musk to dismiss him. Instead, he raised an eyebrow. And you think you can fix it? Nathan shrugged. I know I can. Musk studied him for a moment longer, then held out the key card. All right, show me. The moment the card hit his palm, Nathan's instincts took over. He opened the door, slid into the driver's seat, and tapped the brakes. The touchscreen flickered as the software attempted to recover, but it was stuck in a loop. He knew exactly what to do. First, he forced a manual shutdown, bypassing the onboard diagnostics that had frozen mid-sequence. Then, using a precise combination of brake and accelerator inputs, he triggered a secondary restart, one that most Tesla owners didn't even know existed. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then, the dashboard flickered back to life. The system rebooted, running smoothly as if nothing had ever been wrong. Nathan exhaled. Should be good now. Musk leaned in, checking the screen. He tapped a few settings, then turned to Nathan. That was impressive. Nathan stepped back, wiping his hands on his jeans. Wasn't that hard? Musk smirked. Maybe not for you. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a neatly folded stack of bills. Here, for your time. Nathan stiffened. This was exactly why he hadn't wanted to help. He didn't want pity. Didn't want to be another story of a homeless man given a few charity dollars by a billionaire. He shook his head. I don't want your money. Musk looked surprised. Then what do you want? Nathan glanced around at the onlookers still whispering. He felt the familiar weight in his chest, the weight of being ignored, discarded. He swallowed. Nothing. Just glad I could help. Musk studied him for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Then he nodded. Nathan turned, ready to fade back into the night. But before he could take another step, Musk called after him. What's your name? Nathan hesitated. Then, over his shoulder, he answered, Nathan. Musk gave a small nod. Good work, Nathan. But Nathan had no idea that this wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning.